before we get started, I'd like to take a few minutes to acknowledge and thank a few people who are here today. First of all, the Hall of Fame Board of Directors is here today, many of them, almost every single one of us. If you would please stand as I read your name. Janet Lemmy McGuire, Joe Carletta, John Bell, Taylor Sherry, Mark Romano, Paul Manchal, Ralph Fagiano. This event was not available, could not make it today. Something came up with the family. And then, last but not least, Megan Richard, who is our vice president. Everything that works today, everything that's good about this event, all the logistics, the meals, everything, give credit to Megan. If anything goes wrong, talk to me. But again, thank you to the board. We've had a great year leading up to this induction ceremony. Very talented and, what's the word? I guess people who contribute a lot of their time and good thoughts to the successful Hall of Fame on the board. Okay, I'd also like to recognize a few individuals. I'm not sure if any of them are here. However, first of all, this is Josephine Banquet, who's the wife of Hall of Famer Bill Banquet. Unfortunately, something came up with her family. She could not join us today. She said she'd be back at the next one, so hopefully we'll see her there. But she and Bill have been, over the years, very consistent and generous supporters of the Hall of Fame. Also, Tom Frieda. Did Tom make it? Tom? Tom's our tax guy. He volunteers to do that. Some people twisted his arm to do it, but he still does it anyway. Tries to keep us out of trouble. And Chris Hurley. Did Chris make it? Is Chris here? Chris, you may recognize his name. He's one of the sports writers for Wicked Local. Covers Bedford Transcript and other cities and towns nearby. And you may also have noticed the 11 or 12 articles that he wrote about almost every inductee that's here today. But certainly all the athletes that are here today had articles written about them. So thanks to Chris. Occasionally at our induction ceremonies, we also give a special thank you to someone. Reggie, come up. From time to time, there are individuals who over a sustained period of time have helped us, and I'm going to let Reggie carry it from here.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's my pleasure to introduce a young man who's known to you all. From January of 1988 to January of 2016, he was the mayor of the city of Medford. During that time, he rebuilt all the elementary and elementary and middle schools with some stipends that came out to be $110 million. He's always been a supporter, a staunch supporter of the Medford High School sports and the Mustang Hall of Fame. Today, we would like to present to Michael J. McGlynn in appreciation for your many years of service and support of the Mustang Hall of Fame and the Mustang High School Athletics, presented by the Mustang Hall of Fame, November 18th, 2018. Mr. McGlynn.
Okay.
Yeah, actually.
Thank you very much. Next, I'd like to introduce a few supporters of the Hall of Fame, each of whom will make a few remarks as I introduce them. First of all, the principal of the Medford Vocational Technical High School, Chad Fallon. Chad, if you have a few words, great.
Good afternoon. Really just want to say thank you for having me. I just finished my first year at Medford. This event is surely one of the many reasons why Medford has been such a good choice for me. So thank you for giving me a great first year. Congratulations to all of you tonight, and enjoy the afternoon. Thank you.
The headmaster of Medford High School, Mr. Paul DeLeva.
Well, first thing I'd like to say is I'm back. First of all, I want to thank everyone. It's a wonderful honor to be asked to be here tonight, especially for me because I'm looking at students that I had when I was a teacher at Banquet High School, and to see how they developed. And I've coached some of them, I've taught them in a lot of ways, and just seeing those faces really, really resonates to me that why we do what we do as educators. People on the board, for example, Mr. Paul Malatar was sort of like a mentor of mine. He would tell me, you know, the school never ends at 218, and that's true, especially when it comes to athletics, because you're there all the time, 24/7, showing what you care about Medford High School, and just honored to be in this room with so many great people, and congratulations everyone that is being inducted today. Thank you.
The superintendent of Medford Public Schools, Dr. Maurice Edouard Vincent.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am so excited to be here today. This is my very first Hall of Fame event. As you know, I was born in Medford and grew up in Medford, but I did not attend Medford Public Schools. 4 of my siblings are Mustangs, and the remaining 3 are Cougars. But nonetheless, I'm very, very excited to be here to celebrate with all of you. All of you are wearing the blue tags. Congratulations on the awards that you've received in the past, and those of you who are wearing the white tags, congratulations today. I'm so excited to be part of this event with you, and I look forward to continuing to see more Mustangs become Hall of Famers. So have a great rest of the day. Thank you.
And the mayor of the city of Medford, the Honorable Stephanie Burke.
Good afternoon, everyone. As you can clearly see, Medford has gone through a year of change. Many people have moved from one school to another, like Mr. Tucci and Mr. DeLeva, and a new superintendent. So we're really thrilled to have such new faces and just the spirit, the Mustang spirit live on. Congratulations to all those being inducted today. You join a very elite group of people, and I know that your blue and white runs through. It runs in me, runs in most of us in this room, and I'm forever proud to be a Mustang always. And thank you to the Hall of Fame Committee for all the work you do. While we've had so much change, the one thing that is constant has been the work that you have all done year in and year out to put this together and to memorialize the wonderful athletes and citizens that they all are. So enjoy your lunch, and it's a great day. So thank you.
I'd also like to, this is driving me nuts. It doesn't. Can you hear me? Great. Because next I'm throwing the mic out and I'm going to scream. But my voice is not quite what it used to be when I was yelling from behind the plate or on the ice. So I'd also like to acknowledge Diane Caldwell, who's here today. Thank you for joining us and recognizing the inductees and soon-to-be new members of the Hall of Fame. You know, I've only been on the board for about 8 years and 4 inductions. And I don't know how far back what I'm going to say is true, but this is the first time that I know of personally the mayor, the superintendent, the associate superintendent, the headmaster, the principal of a vocational school. Did I forget anyone? Right? 2 principals. Nick Tucci, Hall of Famer as well, and Diane. We may have had 3, maybe 4, but never, whatever number that adds up to, 7. So thank you all very much. I don't think you will realize how much this means to the attendees here and the inductees in particular, but also the board. We really appreciate that kind of support for our organization. So thank you again. Today we'll be inducting 14 new members into the Mustang Hall of Fame. This is our primary purpose. Our mission statement, which you can find on our website online if you want to read it again. You don't have to take notes now, but our mission statement says, the Medford Mustang Hall of Fame is an organization dedicated to honoring and recognizing those exceptional athletes, coaches, community leaders, alumni, and teams who have made outstanding contributions to the Medford High School athletic program. In addition to bridging all generations of Medford High School athletes, coaches, community leaders, alumni, and teams, the Mustang Hall of Fame promotes the current Medford High School athletic program. We take this mission very seriously. You may have noticed the phrase, bridging generations. Well, today we have an inductee from the class of 2013, another inductee from the class of 1999, I think, another one from 1984, another one from 1945, and another one from, what's the number? 1906. I don't know how many generations that is, but it's a lot. And so I think it's important to recognize as far back as we can and collect information on people who should be considered for induction if not inducted. But that's a pretty good span of athletic talent across Medford High School. So. You may also have noticed that, some of you anyway, that we've added 2 categories to be considered for induction. We've added teams, which in the past were honored, but now teams can be inducted. We've also added a category called alumni. You'll be reading more about this and hearing more about it as we get into next year, but get your thinking caps on, because one thing we never have enough of is nominations. Speaking of nominations, we accept nominations 365 days a year, except in leap years when we take it for an extra day. Only exaggerating a little. We never have enough nominations of people. Anyone can nominate, anyone, to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. We only have 2 requirements generally, for athletes in particular, is that they be a graduate of Medford High School and they be out 5 years. Other than that, there are no specific criteria. But if you look through the list of accomplishments of the folks who are in the being inducted today, I think it's pages 4 and 5, you'll see some pretty significant accomplishments. But there are more folks out there who have similar accomplishments that we don't know about. The board does not nominate all the inductees. We may nominate 1 or 2. All the other nominations come from people who are here in this room, people who aren't in the room today, who have nominated in the past. It comes from the community of athletics and the community of Medford interested alums, I guess, is the best way to put it. People who have a connection to Medford High School and Medford High School athletics. So if you know anyone, please let us know. It starts with a name, and then we go from there. The process, also, once a person is nominated, their nomination remains active or remains in consideration every time we have an induction ceremony. So you don't need to induct someone more than once, but you can always add more details to their folder for consideration. In terms of the process, the deadline for nominations for this class was June 30th. Normally it's June 30th of the year of the induction, which will be June 30th, 2020, so there's plenty of time to start collecting that information for your next nomination. And the board is always available, any board member and every board member is available to help with nominations. So if you're not sure how to do it, let's start with a name and then go from there. But a board member will be happy to work with anyone. And if it sounds like I'm talking about nominations too much, I'm not. Because as I said, we get a lot of good ones, but we never get enough. There are a lot more athletes out there that deserve to be recognized, as well as community service and teams and so forth. If you have any questions about the nomination process, please see me or any member of the board, and they'll direct you to me because no one else wants to talk about it. On the inside cover and on page 3, you can see our agenda. We ask that you remain for the entire ceremony out of respect, in particular to the nominees who will be inducted for the end of the program. We also have a group picture for the new members of the Hall of Fame and others at the end of the ceremony, so we do hope that we do expect that you will stay for that. We will do our best to stay on time. So as has been our tradition over the years, we will induct our first class, first inductee into the Hall of Fame before we have our meal. The way the process will work is I will introduce a person who is going to do the introduction of the inductee. The inductee will come up after the introduction, receive the plaque, and give his or her acceptance speech. Then we'll take a picture of the inductee and move on to the next. Okay? So with that, we'll start our first inductee induction. So John McAdam will be introducing our first inductee.
My sincere congratulations to the Mustang Hall of Fame class of 2018. Your induction today is an honor that was well deserved by each of you. Nathan Clement is our first inductee this afternoon. He's a young man who epitomizes 3 qualities expected of the Hall of Fame: excellence in athleticism, leadership, and character. Nate's athletic accomplishments are impressive. He earned a total of 8 letters as a Mustang, 4 letters in football, 2 letters in indoor track, and 2 letters in outdoor track. He was named to the Greater Boston League All-Star teams in all 3 sports as a junior and senior. Nate was also honored by the Medford Mercury as an All-Scholastic, both as a junior and senior. In senior year, he was selected as a Harry Aganis All-Star. In addition, Nate was the 2013 recipient of both the Edgerly Award as the Outstanding Senior Male Athlete at Medford High School and the Feely Family Award Scholarship. Nate's leadership, skills, and character were clearly evident to his teammates and coaches as he was chosen to captain all 3 teams his senior year. Head coach Jason Nascimento had this to say about Nate. Quote, Nate was instrumental in keeping his class of teammates together during some very difficult times and during a coaching transition that happened midway through his senior year. He was a consistent resource that people could lean on when times were tough, and his teammates looked to him for inspiration. He was part of the glue that kept things afloat and had a long-lasting impact on future generations of athletes at Medford High School. He always wanted to leave a program better than it was when he came in, and we as coaches are forever grateful that we had the opportunity to coach him. Track coach Tommy Lynch called me, quote, a great kid, a great team captain, a great role model, and I was lucky to have coached him. In a 2012 Medford transcript article by Chris Hurley, Nate defined his role as a team captain. Quote, the role of captain is about leading the way, getting the other athletes in the right mindset instead of having them feel uncomfortable and nervous before they head into the track meet or game. In that article, Nate was also quoted saying, I'm usually cheering my fellow Mustangs on. I don't really think it's fair to cheer only for your specific team. I feel like I have to support every other sport at the high school as well. Nate's resume of proven excellence in athleticism, leadership, and character make him a true MHS Hall of Famer as an athlete and as a person. On a personal note, one day after class 6 years ago, Nate shared two of his goals with me. One was to become a Mustang Hall of Famer, and the other was to become a future Medford High School athletic director. Nate, Bobby Maloney will be pleased to know that you have made it to the Hall of Fame and relieved to know that you have chosen to pursue a career in physical therapy. It is indeed my honor and my great privilege to present our newest member of the Mustang Hall of Fame, Nathan Clement.
First, I'd like to thank Mr. McAdam for the incredible speech. Mr. McAdam was a huge inspiration to me during my time at Medford High. He was one of my biggest supports during my time. So first thing, I'd like to thank the Medford Hall of Fame for the induction into the class of 2018. It's an incredible honor to be selected and recognized by my fellow peers. And this accomplishment had never been possible without my family, friends, coaching staff, and teachers. I would like to give a special thank you to my mom and dad back there for always instilling the idea of being the hardest worker possible and that everything else will follow forward. And I'd also like to give a special thank you to my brother, who's also back there, for introducing the game of football into my life and being my biggest role model for that sport. Mr. Maloney, Mr. Howard, Ms. Bowler, Mr. McAdam once again, Mr. Dempsey for always believing in me, placing me in the best situations to succeed, making my overall high school athletic experience the best I can possibly be. As well as Coach Lynch and Mr. Richard for pushing me to pursue my career as track and field. All I ever wanted to do was be the best example of a Mustang teammate and to support everyone around me. And I can truly say I have no regrets on the effort I put towards that goal. Thank you and God bless.
Okay. In front of the podium, right in front of the podium.
We'll figure it out.
Okay, we're just about to get to the meal, but a couple of quick points here. First of all, we do have some Mustang Hall of Famers in the room today, in addition to the 14 that will be inducted. I'm going to read all the names. and if you can save your applause, when you hear your name, please stand. And if I missed anyone, please wave after I get to the end of the list. So we have with us today Hall of Famers, Bill Edgerly, Charlie Pagliarulo, Chuck Andre, David Cresta, Dave Palcari, Ed Finn, George Scarpelli, Lindy Saragosa, Lou Edgerly, May Markberg, Sandra Finn, Sarah Sweat-Zizzo, Brian Branson, Victor Garrow, and Carol Perella. And is there anyone else that I didn't notice coming in? Thanks to Reggie. Oh, Ron Zampel. In addition, some of these folks are longtime members of the Hall of Fame board, so they not only were honored, they served to honor others as well. So thank you. And Nick Tucci didn't wave his hand because not only is he talented, but he's as modest as he is talented. Nick Tucci. So maybe it's extra time to sleep on Monday, right? No? Okay. We also have with us some potential future Hall of Famers. Where are the captains? The captains. Where are the captains? Come on, stand up. Stand up. We have 7 current or just named captains from Medford High School varsity sports. 6. Is someone missing? In any case, the people standing are captains. So hopefully if you have a winter sport or a spring sport coming up, the stories you tell about seeing this will inspire your teams a little bit more than they might have otherwise. But thank you for joining us. Okay, now another Hall of Famer, past president and current board member, Coach Joe Barletta, will recite our blessing for the meeting.
Dear Lord, we thank you for granting us this wonderful, special day to honor our new inductees. As we enter this time of Thanksgiving, let us take pause to remember that all good things come from your bounty. As we share this day in celebration, love, and friendship, let us also remember those members of the Hall of Fame who have passed on. We thank you, Lord, for all the blessings, the large and small. When I stopped to count them, so many I recall. We thank you for your blessings on our honorees, our families, and our friends. We thank you for watching over us, guiding us, and protecting us from all evil. We now ask you, Lord, for your blessings for the food which we are about to receive from your bounty, for those who have prepared it, and for those who will serve it. Through Christ our Lord. Amen.
The next person to introduce the Hall of Fame inductee will be Sarah Sweat-Zizzo.
Hi everyone. First off, I'd like to thank the Hall of Fame Committee for putting on another great Sunday afternoon, especially the parents. I feel like I need a new one every 2 years. Congratulations to all the inductees today. It is quite an honor to be inducted to the Mustang Hall of Fame. As dorky as it sounds, when you walk through the Medford High halls and see your name on the wall, it's a pretty cool feeling. Something you can show your kids. Mine could care less, but yours and like it. It's a great honor today to introduce Nicole Lopalato to the Hall of Fame. I first had the pleasure to coach Nicole during soccer. After our first game, I had no idea if we won or lost, what the score was. But I remember Nicole being very upset with letting a couple of goals in. said, "Bull, it's fine. It's the first game. You're a goalie. You don't let goals in." But I quickly realized that was her intensity and passion that she brought to every single game. And as much as I try to relax her a little bit, I realized there's no changing that. But then I realized she played softball. I was like, yes, bring the intensity. In all my years coaching or even playing, I had never seen an athlete as intense as Nicole in that 5'2.5" frame. She never had to worry she was ready for the game. She thrived for the competition. Not only would I be intimidated to play against Nicole, I would be intimidated if I was coaching against her. In fact, I think George Scarpelli was pretty intimidated by her. Nicole played third base, and I'm not sure if anything ever got past her. She might have dropped a couple, but nothing got past her. Third base is an integral position for bunt coverages, and in years past, we would have some third basemen who tell them to move in, to take a couple of steps, which is totally understandable. And Coach Scarpelli and I decided to move Nicole in. We would look over and then scream, "Nicole, get back! You're going to get killed!" She would roll her eyes, not move, and then pick up whatever was hit at her. Not only was she stellar in the field, she was a complete threat on offense. She had an unbelievable amount of power, 416 batting average, 15 home runs, 83 RBIs. She had speed, and if you know softball, that's a dangerous combo. It was fun to see her plate appearances and how she attacked the ball, probably the fastest hands I've ever seen. But even more fun to see her on the bases and watch the other team try to get her out. Nicole also played basketball, and although I didn't have the chance to coach her in that, I can easily picture in my head how she played the game. She actually bet me freshman year that she would dunk by senior year. I told her it would never happen. Before you tell me I trust her dreams, when you look at her, you would make the same bet as I did. In fact, I think she still owes me the $500 from that bet. Ladies and gentlemen, Nicole Black.
I wouldn't be here today or who I am today without the never kind of high sports. Whether it's teaching me patience, girls basketball games the way Ruth is leaking again, or teaching me how to never give up and getting pelted with ground balls as a freshman from Sweat and Scarpelli with them yelling in my face, E5, 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 every single time I would draw 37. And it also, taught me some seriousness as well, which was, an invaluable use today. I use it every single day of my life. But in all seriousness, I couldn't be more thankful for my experience at Medford High and proud to be a Mustang, previously, now, and obviously now forever. I would like to take this time to thank the Hall of Fame Committee, the board members, all the people involved to make today possible. I would also like to thank my coaches in attendance, Scarpelli, Sweat, Pags, and Dempsey, and every single coach that I've had in between. You all have played a pivotal role in my life as a person and an athlete. One of the best moments in my career was actually when I received the call and email from the Merrimack College softball head coach, Elaine Schweiger, that I was being asked to attend in the fall and was going to be a member of their softball program. I think I practically ripped the doors off of Dempsey's office when I read it. Get recruited, oh my God. I don't know if you had class in there, I didn't really care. I couldn't see anything other than those words on that screen, we want you at Merrimack. So that was pretty cool. But now I would like to give thanks to my family. All of them sitting in the back of their homes. My aunts, my uncles, my cousins, my grandparents. It's very fitting that they're all here today because they've been here since, the day I started picking up sports. But in particular, I want to thank my mom and my dad. My background in sports for 23 years, starting at the right age of 3 when my dad taught me to swim by throwing me in the deep end of the pool. She'll either sink or swim, Terry, she's fine. So thank you, because that's exactly how I, that's what I do, intense. That's how I played, and that's how I became successful, and I've now obviously used that throughout my whole life. So again, I'm either going to sink or I'm going to swim, and you have to pick either option, I'm going to do either of those. So to my mom and my dad, thank you for your support your sacrifice, your travel, the practices, your love. Even when I told you how much I sucked that day, I could have gone, 4 for 5 or hit 2 home runs, but I don't know what you are about the strikeout that I had. And not once have you guys ever questioned how good of a person I was or trying to support me through every single challenge that I was faced with. So to you guys, I thank you for your sacrifice, because you guys are the reason why I'm here today, and being honored for such a great woman for joining the Hall of Fame. And now my sister. For those of you that don't know, we are actually going to be the first siblings inducted together. So you'll hear from her later today. But I wanted to thank you for always pushing me, for sacrificing. Being the other sister, it's not always fun. So just to kind of, shed a little light, I got the call first that I was going to be inducted. Then she got the call the second day. Of course, I was super happy for her. I'm the proud older sister, but in true Nicole fashion, I of course go, I'm still better at it, But of course, not true at all. She is the reason why I am also here. She was my best friend, always pushing me to become more competitive, do better than her, see her grow as an awesome athlete in her own right. And that has been really cool to see, and it's really cool that I can also share this with her. It's fitting that she was a freshman, I was a senior. We then went to different colleges, so it's nice that we can kind of come together once again and share in this one line of sports, stature as siblings and best friends. So to cap this all off, again, thank you to everybody here. Congrats to all the other inductees. And I obviously am very proud and fortunate to be a part of such an elite group of people and athletes in their own right. And I'm very happy to be, blue and white are in my veins forever. And I'm now very happy to say that that's true. So thank you all very much.
Right in front of the podium.
The next introduction will be made by Banquet. Walter.
I feel really privileged to be here tonight with you all to introduce someone I've been lucky to know as a teammate, classmate, and most importantly as a brother. Ben Walter excelled in athletics here at Medford High and later had a successful college career and eventually turned into a professional career with the Colorado Rockies. Ben didn't only have incredible success on the field, but also impacted the lives of many folks off the field. I won't go too much into the athletic accomplishments because I feel a lot of them speak for themselves, but I want to talk to you a little bit more about who Ben is as a person. I always used to tease Ben and focus a lot on statistics. I'd say, hey, did you know you were leading the Greater Boston League in batting or leading the Ohio Valley Conference in home runs? And he would always kind of joke and say, I don't look at the stats, they kind of get in my head. And I think he, to where I always did that. But I think he understood the bigger picture that winning came from the ability to work together as a team and also the time that he spent not just bettering himself, but bettering those around him as well. I think he's a man of excellent character and integrity and cares more for others than he does for himself. A few examples. Ben had 8 varsity letters while playing at Medford High. His senior year when he was captain of the baseball team, under his leadership, brought the team back to the state tournament for the first time in many years. But I feel that shouldn't really overshadow the work he did volunteering at the bone marrow drive for Bill Marquette and Hebrew Hill. Another example, Ben was third in the country for home runs when he was in college. It's NCAA Division I baseball. but even more powerful than his home run swing. I think I recall one night after a game, he sat on top of the dugout and shaved his head with several children that were suffering from childhood leukemia. So I think, you know, as a cancer survivor myself, I can only imagine the lifelong positive impact that would have on a child going through such a difficult circumstance in their life. And yet again, in addition to being able to hit wherever he's played for baseball, he's also spent time after with his fans and children to sign autographs and take pictures. And I think while other people sometimes will head back to the clubhouse and crack a beer, not that there's anything wrong with that, but he always spent time to give back. And I think that's a testament to his character and to his humanity. I'll say one last thing. I think I speak for most people that come out of this program that one thing I always learned, from the program was that you're a gentleman and then you're an athlete, and gentleman comes first. And I think no one's embraced that quite like Ben, and it's led to a very successful athletic career and allowed him to touch the lives of more people than you ever imagined, especially children. So I wanted to thank the selection committee and congratulate them on being inducted into the Hall of Fame. So let's hear it for them.
First of all, thank you to Dave Crowley and the board for setting up this whole ceremony and inducting me, as well as all the other people here. Several people I'd like to thank, first of all. First, George Scarpelli. Many of you probably know George. He was my elementary school gym teacher. You know, he kind of found my love for athletics and sports. I think when I was in the 4th grade, I hit a home run. He still owes me that bucket of slush at Forest Park School. Nick Tucci and Paul Matatal, two of my coaches throughout my high school career. You guys, you know, were the first ones to believe in me. Coach Matatal put me on the team as a sophomore. Now I'm on the senior team, so thank you for having faith in me. And Coach Tucci, thank you for carrying on after Coach Matatal left. Ron Zampel, I saw Ron, I don't know where he's sitting, but thank you to Ron for all the hard work you put in over the years for myself and all the other athletes. It didn't go unnoticed. I had many athletic directors over the years, and you're one of my favorites, so thank you for all that. Then the Finns, Ed and Sandra Finn. I saw you guys when I pulled up. I was thinking of you yesterday. You guys, you know, I'm sure you played a huge part in setting this up, as well as over the years. All you did for myself and the other athletes with the football team, Hall of Fame, banquets, everything. You were always a premier character in that, so thank you for your time with that. Paul Galeva, now the headmaster. He was my 5th period chemistry teacher, and we had a misfit class, so I think we turned him into the headmaster. So thanks for putting up with us. So thank you everybody else for coming out. I appreciate the support. Mr. Pagliarulo too, I didn't get to say thank you to you. You threw batting practice to me all the years. Charlie, one of my teammates, so thank you to the Pagliarulo family. And that kind of goes to kick things off with why I'm here. When I was in high school, many of you know if you've been there, the Hall of Fame plaques are right outside the gymnasium. So I'd often walk through the Hall of Fame plaques, look at them, Mike Pagliarulo, Bill Mamboquette. They'd attended Medford High. They're also members of the Hall of Fame. So at a young age, I kind of wanted to compete with them and hopefully one day, you know, set goals for myself and get my name up there. So a lot of attributions to them as well. Then getting into my family, throughout the years I've missed countless holidays. My mother's birthday, Mother's Day, you name it. I wasn't there for a lot of that. All the people in my inner circle, they know the sacrifices that I went through over the years to make it to the level I played at, so thank you all for hanging with me along the way. Mom, she's
back there taking a picture now. But just wanted to say thank you for all the support, sacrifices, long nights listening and watching my games over the years. You've always been one of my best fans. Grew up in a single-parent household. I know it's hard for you to raise us, but you know, one of the funny stories with my mom on Mother's Day, we wanted to go down the park at batting practice, and we dragged her out on Mother's Day. I think it was the third or fourth pitch. We didn't have an L screen. I hit a line drive off her shin. That ended her Mother's Day. So that kind of goes to show you a little bit about the person she is and why we're all here today. So thank you for everything you've done, Mom. My grandmother, she's not here today, but she helped raise us along with my mother. My father, he's still in Arkansas. He put in a lot of time on the farm. He taught me about sacrifice, hard work, and dedication. So he's a lot to thank for the reason I am where I am today. And then both my brothers, Matt and Andrew, you guys have been my practice partners the whole way. So thanks for putting up with me, my mouth, and my attitude all those years. And I'd also like to thank all my teammates over the years and my coaches. None of this would have been possible without you. Since leaving Medford High, I played at St. Anselm College, Cypress College, Jacksonville State, the North Shore Navigators, Orleans Firebirds, Atlanta Braves, Kansas City Royals, Colorado Rockies, and Gateway Grizzlies. Every time I pulled on a different jersey, I realized I represented those organizations as well as my family and the city of Medford that I came from. So I hope I did a good job representing everybody, and thank you all for the support over the years. There's a quote I like about baseballs: it's a funny game, parallels life in many ways. The game gets harder and more competitive the older you get. Pitching mound moves farther from home plate, bases move farther away from each other. You have to learn to become more independent and make the right decisions in the game. A strong baseball player may have bad and good days on the field. They may strike out a few times, but they don't hang their head. Instead, they try again the next time. They practice to get better at the game. They listen to advice that the coaches give them, and they go out swinging. If they get a lucky swing, they might come all the way home. A strong baseball player may not always have the lucky swing. They may hit the ball, but it was an easy out in the center fielder's glove. Sometimes they make bad decisions when they get to the next base and the pitcher picks them off. But a strong player goes back to his teammates in the dugout, knows how to be a good teammate. They must work hard to get to home plate, learn from their mistakes, and pay attention to the game. They must never take their eye off the ball or the goal. In life, we must all try to be strong baseball players. Finally, I'd like to thank all of my host families over the years who opened their homes to me and treated me like I was part of their own family. I'd like to thank my fans who followed me every step of the way, every city, every hometown, and every ballpark, from Missoula, Montana, to Tampa, Florida, and everywhere in between. You'll never know the joy it gave me seeing the fans and kids wear my jersey or number and appreciate not only the player I was, but the person I was off the field. There are a number of people who helped me out along the way and shaped my career. Barry Rosen, who was my first coach at St. Anselm College, he took a shot at me when no one else would and gave me a chance to play. Peter Galani, he was the general manager with the North Shore Navigators. He gave me a chance when no one else would either. So there's a lot of other people that I could sit here and talk about, but I'd like to just thank those people, thank everyone in the room. And then I'd just like to close it out with a quote from Jim Comey. He talked about how Hall of Fame is a mix of current and past athletes as well. And he gave a piece this past year where he said, to every kid, take it one moment at a time. Don't sail too high or sink too low. Learn to be good at handling failure. Be the first one to the ballpark, be the last one to leave. Work hard and don't complain. Be a great teammate and ask other people about themselves. You never know what you might learn. And above all, treat people with respect. The best compliment any baseball player can receive is that he's a good teammate. It's a reflection of all the things not listed on the back of a baseball card. It's the focus, the attitude, the openness, and the way an individual picks you up on Monday but will call you out on Tuesday. In short, it's about accountability, reliability, and commitment. Baseball is all about family, and I'm so glad to celebrate this great day with those closest to me. So thank you to the city of Medford and all of you who've given me and supported me throughout the years. Go Mustangs.
On behalf of the Board of Directors of the Francis Schreier Auditorium and Gene Mack Gym, I'm very pleased to introduce the next inductee, Godfrey Chevalier. Medford High School class of 1906, which I believe is the earliest class to be represented in this prestigious hall. Thank you very much to the Mustang Hall of Fame for considering all the athletes that have performed through the entire history of Medford High School. Godfrey Chevalier's distinguished career in the U.S. Navy and his service is what is most commonly known about him in the community, and why the city of Medford named its new high school auditorium in his honor in 1940. As a 21-year-old midshipman, Chevalier single-handedly rescued 16 fellow sailors who had been dumped from a barge into the icy waters of the Hudson River. Later, during World War I, he was a decorated commanding officer of U.S. forces in France. And in 1922, he performed his best-known feat, becoming the first American aviator to both take off from and land a plane on a moving ship. But it was actually as an athlete at Medford High School where Chevalier first demonstrated the strength, courage, and gallantry that would mark his military career. Inch for inch and pound for pound, few athletes could compare with Chevalier in his day. Standing just 5 feet 5 inches and weighing not even 125 pounds, Chevalier possessed an unusual combination of strength, speed, and stamina that he used to excel at Medford High in 3 sports: track, crew, and hockey. Just goes to show you that student athletes of any size can excel if they are determined to. The Boston Globe described Chevalier as one of the best athletes for his age that ever attended Medford High School. Captain of the Mustang indoor track team and also the crew team, Chevalier also demonstrated a winning character. Back in the days of Chevalier's career, it's hard to find meet statistics and all-star teams. A lot of those things just weren't in vogue back then. But time after time, the articles would talk about his performance where he would anchor the relay team or be the third runner, and the team was behind, and it was Godfrey Chevalier's performance that brought the team back and allowed it to prevail. But typically, he would never allow those accolades to come his way. The Medford Mercury wrote, "His modesty and his willingness to allow his teammates to assume full glory for his personal feats not only won for him the captaincy of the school crew, but irrevocably endeared him in the hearts of his rivals and his idlers." I think he would be equally humble to accept an award of this nature today. As I mentioned, in 1940, the Chevalier Auditorium was dedicated in his honor, and the Medford Citizen wrote that it extolled and held up to the youth of the city Godfrey Chevalier as an example of gallantry and courage. Now, nearly 80 years later, Godfrey Chevalier's induction into the Medford Mustang Hall of Fame offers similar inspiration for the Medford High athletes of both today and years to come. Accepting the award on behalf of Godfrey Chevalier is Phil Chevalier, great-grandson of Godfrey's brother, John B. Chevalier, who also is a Medford High grad and World War I aviator, and great-grandnephew of Godfrey Chevalier.
Hey, thank you so much for the applause, because I didn't do anything. But I really like to thank Ken for being really a champion of Godfrey's legacy up here. I actually didn't grow up in the area. I grew up in Northern Virginia and moved up here for work reasons a couple years ago, and have since gotten involved in what Ken's doing a little bit and seen it firsthand, and it's truly remarkable to see that somebody that I am related to just in the distant past made such a mark on a community, and not only just any community. What I'm seeing here today is one that is so, my phone's worst time ever. But one that is so intact and it's so vibrant. And seeing it today is really a testament to the fact that I don't think anyone would have been able to do what he did without coming from a community and a support system that looks like this one, especially so many years later. So thank you so much for the, for the award and for inducting Godfrey and for keeping his name alive. My family really appreciates it. Thank you.
The next person introducing an inductee is Nico Karen.
Good afternoon. For those of you who don't know Tia, she was an athlete all 4 years through high school for 3 different teams: volleyball, swimming, and lacrosse. When she was on these teams, she was a captain of the volleyball and lacrosse team her junior and senior years, and a captain of the swim team her senior year. I was fortunate enough to serve with her on the swim team. Couldn't ask for a better captain at the time. The way she did motivate us all in the locker room, our coach, Mary Judge, said she never saw anything like the energy we came with when we went to MD. Tia was a GDL All-Star in both volleyball and lacrosse her junior and senior years, and for swimming all 4 of her years at Medford High. While on the subject of GDLs, Tia earned 4 medals at the GDL Swimming Championship with 1st and 2nd place finishes in the 50 freestyle and 100 freestyle. Upon leaving Medford High, she earned quite a few various awards: M Club Captain Award, the Mustang Club Mustang Block Pride Award as student athlete, and of course, Girls Lacrosse Coaches Award. Her career didn't end in high school though. She continued us on at St. Anselm's, where she played girls lacrosse and started all 4 years. When she was there, the Northeast Conference awarded her the Player of the Week for 10 goals in her final week at St. Anselm's. Due to this, women's lacrosse also gave her the National Honor Roll Award. Despite all this, she never forgot her roots. In 2011, she came back to Medford High to coach the JV lacrosse team for 1 year. Let's hear from her best. Come on up, Tia.
So my brother likes to public speak, so when he had this opportunity, he was eager to jump on it. I, on the other hand, do not. So I'm going to keep this pretty brief and try try and get through it without passing out. I absolutely loved high school. I did well. In school, I had good grades, but what I really loved the most was sports. I want to take the time just to thank all of the coaches that I had throughout the years. I had some of our teams, the coaches switched throughout the year, so it's a long list, so here we go. Coach Garcia, Coach Dyer, Coach Judge, Coach Forty, Coach Laws, Coach Calusi, Big Mac, Coach Leah, and Coach Virgilia. I had some of the best times playing with you all, and I appreciate all the time that you put into coaching me and the time that you dedicated to the teams and making us better people on and off the field. I want to thank Mr. Z for, Ronzia Powell for nominating me for this award and this honor. It's amazing to be considered a part of this group in just a few short minutes once I'm done talking here. And I also want to thank my family, so especially my parents for their love and support. I grew up a tomboy. I was always out in the schoolyard or in the park playing sports, especially with my dad. Sorry, Mom, I got a little bit more of my athletic ability from Dad. She's going to kill me, but my mom has been known to roll an ankle walking down the sidewalk, but when she laughs in grace, she definitely makes up for it in heart. She was a mom that's always in the stands, never missed a game, always dropping off and picking up for practices, not me, but my brother, my sister as well. She was the team mom for all of my teams, always bringing oranges for halftime, hosting team events at our house. Who's the crazy lady yelling on the sideline? It's my mom. And as much as we like to give her a hard time, I wouldn't be here without her, so thanks, Mom. You're the real MVP. To all of the members of the Mustang Hall of Fame, I am so flattered to be joining your ranks. It truly is an honor to be able to call myself a member of such an amazing group of people. And congrats to all of the other inductees tonight. Thank you again.
The next introduction will be from George Arbella.
Thank you, Mr. Crowley. First, before I get started in this induction, I just want to make sure everybody understands and give them a round of applause. With every induction today, you hear a common theme and how great the parents are. And I see a lot of my former athletes that are here tonight that are being inducted. It makes me so proud. But I think we all owe our parents a round of applause. Thanking them for everything they did. So, a few things I need to point out. It is amazing when you look at the names of Karen and Fagiano and Lopalato and Andre and Waldrop, and the common theme is how great physical education teaches can make an impact in the kid's life, so especially me. So thank you for giving me that opportunity. And Ben, that bucket of slush, I did deliver it. The Crasco family did steal it. So that did happen. Another thing I'd like to point out tonight is Coach Sweat is wearing pink. And if those people that know Coach Sweat, if you ever showed up to a softball practice with pink cleats or pink glove, they would be floating somewhere in the Mystics. Sorry, Ken. That was Sarah, because she wouldn't know. The common theme was always that we're coaching athletes, and it's made a huge difference. So I want to thank all of our student athletes being inducted today. Something that, for me, as I'm now a alumni and a member of this honorable committee, I will tell you, if you walk into any Dunkin' Donuts in Medford for $2.20, you can get a medium regular. And tell them that you're in the Dunkin' Hall of Fame, so it's very important. Last thing you notice, I'm wearing Mrs. Andre's glasses because I forgot them. So, and I'm not embarrassed to do this. I can't see anybody in front of me, so this is great. So, my honor and privilege today to talk and call out one of my favorite student athletes ever at Banquet High School. Kyle Andre, class of 2007. Cross country, 4 letters, co-captain. Basketball, 4 letters, a guard, GBL All-Star, 3-time co-captain, several 20-point games as a senior. Softball, 4 letters, outfield, co-captain, GBL All-Star junior year. Total letters, 12. She was awarded the Friends of Angel Torres, a great honor for our Mustang athletes. So, I had the privilege and the honor of being a head coach of multiple sports in Banquet High School. Having this opportunity is one of the best opportunities of my life in announcing one of my all-time favorite Mustang athletes. It makes me super proud that Kyle's situation as a Mustang softball player came with many ups, but a lot more downs. As a freshman and sophomore, Kyle not only made our varsity team, but started in center field and was one of the GBL's best leadoff hitters. Kyle led the team in stolen bases her sophomore year, and both seasons was top 3 in batting average. She was named to the GBL All-Star team her sophomore year, and her talent was shooting toward greatness. Kyle earned a varsity letter for all 4 years as a Mustang softball player. Let me tell you about her downs. In my opinion, Kyle was headed in the direction of being known as Banquet High School's one of the greatest players until the end of her junior and senior basketball seasons, when both ended with Kyle tearing her ACLs in both knees, which put her on crutches for 2 final softball seasons. That's when her downs brought her to what I believe is true greatness, in my opinion. Knowing Kyle could not play her last 2 seasons, she never missed a game or a practice. Kyle was named captain her senior year, and Kyle was an honor roll student who dedicated herself to Medford. She would come to practice as soon as practice was over. She'd run off to therapy, never making her softball team second. While doing that, Kyle still maintained a daunting academic schedule, earning honors every year. One question that has been asked was, how does Kyle receive a varsity letter while she was injured? My answer is simple. Kyle earned the right to finish both seasons on the field as a varsity player. I remember talking with our trainer and asking permission that Kyle could have the opportunity to lift out to center field position and record 1 inning to make her eligible for those well-earned varsity letters, and that's what she did. I remember one of my proudest coaching moments was announcing Kyle's name on senior day and watching her limp out to her number was painted in center field, and that, in my mind, was a true example of what a true Mustang looks like. I'm so proud tonight that I have the opportunity to announce a captain and an athlete that I think has done one of the most admirable, moved on to the most admirable positions as a teacher. As a coach, you want to teach your student athletes to be the best they can be. And I'm proud that Kyle has taken those thoughts and that attitude, and now she's probably one of the best special education teachers at Banquet High School. And I'm so honored that she's doing that. I think it's, as a coach, something that Mr. Matatol and we talked about when we were coaching together, is making those student athletes into great people. And I've only said this to one other athlete, but I had a son, and when I would talk about a player, I named C.J. Gardy, someone that I've always emulated my son to be one day, one of my former student athletes. My daughter Gianna someday could be like Kyle Andre, be the happiest father in the world. So ultimately, I congratulate her and welcome to the class of 2018 Medford Mustang Hall of Fame.
Thank you. I'd first like to thank the Hall of Fame Board of Directors for considering selecting me to be part of this prestigious honor. Thank you, Coach Scarpelli, for my introduction. Coach and I go way back to the Medford Recreation days where I learned my very first rotary at the age of 9. So aside from my family, he has truly been part of my entire athletic career, every step and misstep of the way. Thank you to my support system of family and friends who are here celebrating this event with me today, including my mom and dad, and especially Kurt Vitello, who dedicated hours of his time each weekend to practice shooting free throws with me in the gym. I get to stand beside some noteworthy athletes that have passed through the Medford High hallways. An Olympian, a Boston Marathon director, every athlete and coach being honored here today. But most importantly, I get to stand alongside my father, Chuck Andre. My dad is responsible for my passion and knowledge of sport. It is he who I get my confidence from. It is he who I get my jump shot from. And when my world was torn not once but twice by a crushing knee injury, it was he who believed that pursuing an NCAA basketball career was still possible. And I went on to play at Manual College. I imagine what my father spoke about in his 1995 Hall of Fame induction. And I know without a doubt, he thinks a very important person who was there then that is not here today. My grandfather Frank, who never missed a game I played in, was the driving force behind my competitiveness, which fueled my determination to keep my athletic career afloat after 2 significant knee surgeries. I celebrate this honor in his memory. I am especially thankful today that my story does not end in injury. I owe gratitude to those who taught me to be relentless and gave me the courage to believe that his knees would play basketball again, and even one day cross the Boston Marathon finish line. My love for Medford is evident. Though I no longer live in the city, I returned to pursue a teaching career in special education at the high school. I became part of the girls' basketball coaching staff, so I'm privileged to have Mustang basketball relevant in my life every day. To have my Medford High School athletic career forever engraved into a community that I'm so deeply invested in is both rewarding and humbling. I hope to follow in the coaching footsteps of both Coach Scarpelli and my father, and to someday have the honor of presenting a Hall of Fame award to one of my players after a successful high school career. Thank you again.
First, I would like to congratulate all the new inductees to the Hall of Fame. I hope that this is not your final step to the Hall of Fame, but I hope it's a beginning of your being an active supporter and participant in the Mustang Hall of Fame in the future. We'd love to have you. I now have the honor of presenting our next inductee. I have been told to be brief, but unfortunately that's not one of my attributes, but I will try. As we enter the Christmas season, one of our traditions is the giving and receiving of gifts. As a coach, it is rewarding to receive a gift of not only an outstanding talented player, but also a person of high character and a perfect gentleman. But how do we measure success? How do we recognize someone as a Hall of Fame? I think of that beautiful present, attractive wrappings, looking at it, and I think that those wrappings represent all the statistics that we use to measure success. How many goals scored? How many home runs? How many hits? How many points scored? How fast did you run? These are all important and well earned. I will not use my brief time to enumerate the rewards and accomplishments of our inductee that were produced on the playing field, because those are all read inside your program. What is inside that box that we are unable to see? What is the measure of the value of that gift inside that box? These are the intangibles, the statistics not seen in the box score. To me, the most important accomplishment of a player is when you ask yourselves, how much better did he make the players around him? Needless to say, he gained the confidence of his teammates and inspired his line mates to greater heights. His dedication to his team, his quiet leadership, outstanding sportsmanship on and out of the field, and his inspiration playing through injury is what makes him a Mustang Hall of Fame. So in closing, it is most important to what is inside the box and not just the wrappings that we see on the outside. Credit to his family, his community, and Medford High School. He gives true meaning to the phrase, once a Mustang, always a Mustang. It is now my pleasure and a great honor that I proudly present to you a new inductee to the Mustang Hall of Fame, Konstantinos Charlie Keskanides.
Short and sweet, and I'm going to speak from the heart. I don't make up a speech, so whatever comes out, it's right from the bottom of my heart. I want to thank Coach Barletta for believing in me, trusting me, for everything we've been through, from our soccer days, our ups and downs. It was the most unbelievable ride that we had for 2 years. Coach John McAdams, I want to thank you personally for helping me on the field. I came in 1985 from Greece. I believe the second day I was here, my dad took me to Medford High School. My father's no longer with me now, so it's kind of emotional for me. He introduced me to Coach Barletta, and he told me that this is your new soccer team. And the first practice I went to the high school, I came back home and I said to my dad, this is not just a soccer team, this is going to be part of my family. I want to thank the committee, all the directors for inducting me into the Hall of Fame. It's a great honor and privilege for me to be here with all the Mustang inductees. My teammates, I want to thank my teammate, friend, neighbor, motivator, George Capelli. If there's one person to motivate you and pump you up, you're looking at him right there, George Capelli. Always pushed me, just like my coaches, Joe and John. Also, my other teammate is here, Dave Rimmer. I want to thank Dave for scoring that winning goal that won the championship in Arlington, the last game of the season. Dave, thank you. Let me just say, I want to thank my family, my mom, for being there, pushing me, encouraging me. My sister, my uncle, they never missed a game. Thank you for supporting me. If it was 1 or 2 goals, they always told me you need to score more. So I never got the end of it. Another person that I want to give a special thanks is to my ESL high school teacher. I want to thank her personally for teaching me how to speak English. He was my ESL teacher, and I want to thank her for helping me with my homework. and always being there for me. Thank you. Coach Paletta, I want to thank you always for 3 lessons you taught us, on the field and off the field. Number 1 was always, you had to be a gentleman. You had to be a good person. Number 2 was, always do your homework. I remember him checking all the quizzes and tests and all your subjects. If you were not doing good, you weren't on the field. And the number 3 rule that Coach had was, if you weren't talented enough, he will make you talented with hard work on the field. Thank you, Coach. And congratulations to all the Mustangs that have got inducted today. This is a big family. I love the city of Medford. I love playing for the Mustangs. And like Coach said, once a Mustang, you'll always be a Mustang. And I'm so glad that I called Medford home when I came from Greece. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Thank you, Coach.
Anyone have any duct tape? Just kidding. Okay, the next introduction will be from Dave Palmer. First of all, I would like to thank the Mustang Hall of Fame Committee. I happen to be on the first committee of the Mustang Hall of Fame. I know how much time and effort we put into the task of going about choosing the young athletes, and in some cases older athletes that are inducted into the Hall of Fame, so thank you very much. I feel very blessed and fortunate to have grown up in Medford, had played in Medford sports in Medford High School. Added to that, I was fortunate to not only teach but coach at Medford High School, and many memories that will never be forgotten as far as I'm concerned. Now the task at hand. As most observers of baseball know, it is driven by statistics. I had a pleasant experience yesterday morning. I went back and pulled out my scorebooks from the years 1981 through 1984. They were great years for several reasons. Great talent, great enthusiasm for the game, great success on the field. Steve Napier was a big part of all of it. In 1981, as a freshman, he was a huge reason why the team only lost 1 game. When Fred Knox retired, I became the varsity coach the next year. Steve was one of only 3 sophomores to make the varsity team. The other 2 were Mustang Hall of Famers, Warren Olson and David Delfino. Steve became the starting center fielder during his junior year and played every game over his final 2 years. He was on the 1983 team
that had a regular season record of 20-0, and the 84 team that finished 16-4. Steve hit the ball hard. He was a slashing line drive hitter with occasional power. He seldom struck out. He could be counted on to put the ball in play. Between 1983 and 1984, he averaged .378 with 3 homers, 12 doubles, 7 triples, and 37 RBIs. He even pitched when needed. What the scorebook doesn't tell you is the other assets he brought to the game. His speed and his gracefulness in the field, his defensive skills, and his accurate, strong, over-the-top throwing arm. Add to these things, Steve had a strong work ethic on the practice field and a desire to be the best he could be. These are the reasons that Steve Napier is being inducted into the Mustang Hall of Fame tonight. I'm so pleased to see him here with his entire family, along with Hall of Fame team manager Brian Branson. I also know that my assistant coach, Paul Matitol, is very pleased with Steve's induction. It is an honor for me to present Steve Napier, Mustang Hall of Fame.
Dave, and thank you, Hall of Fame Committee, for this wonderful recognition today. It's interesting. I speak in front of large groups all the time as a financial advisor, and I have no trouble with the thought of talking to you about the things that I know about my business and the things that I can teach people. I was talking to my good friend Hank Morse, who couldn't be here today. He's somewhat heartbroken over it, but he had another commitment. And I said, it's often difficult to think about talking about yourself and what you accomplished. It's just generally not my style. So with that being said, I just want to spend some time to thank some folks, certainly the Hall of Fame Committee. Truly honored and grateful to be here today to celebrate with my family and friends, all the other inductees and their friends and family. Many folks here I know. I've been in my family's been in the Medford community for just nearly 100 years. So to be here with all of you folks is just a great honor. And to be part of the Hall of Fame family is truly an honor and privilege. It was a pleasant surprise, if not a shock, to hear from Dave Crowley when he phoned me to let me know that I was to receive this honor. It was several years when I bumped into fellow Hall of Famer now, Bud Kelly, and Bud, in his typical fashion, said, "Steve, you need to be in the Hall of Fame." And I said, "Well, gee, thanks, Mr. Kelly." And he said, "No, you got to call me on Monday." I called him on Monday, and he got me going in the process, and as soon as I hung up the phone, I called Dave Pocari, who I'm really thankful for, and he helped me figure out the rest. And here I am. So, interestingly enough, the last time I received an award at the Irish American Club was, I'm giving away my age, and you can tell by my gray hair, was 1978. I received an award from the Wellington Glenwood Little League, which doesn't exist anymore. Imagine that. We used to have 4 Little Leagues here in Medford, now we're down to 1. And back then,
handshake from Bill Campbell, the reliever from the Red Sox. How far we've come today where the Red Sox used to actually attend banquets. Anyway, my introduction to baseball and basketball came from my father, who, I think at the age of 6, he put my brother Scott's glove on my left hand, and he threw me the ball and I caught it. And I took the glove off and I threw it back with my left hand, and he called me a southpaw. So I was a little upset because I didn't know what that meant, but generally I guess that means you're a lefty. And from there on in, I realized I was left-handed and baseball was my game. Like many of you, I spent most of my time not just in school and doing homework, but on the ball fields, in the gym, playing sports. And the Medford community allowed for so many opportunities for kids to play sports. We had Park League in the summer, CYO basketball, youth programs at Medford High, Little League Babe Ruth. But last but not least, because I'm a product of the 70s and 80s, my good friend Charlie can attest to this. We actually went down the park, unorganized pickup games, where we picked the teams, we made the rules, and we officiated the games on our own. And it was the greatest learning experience by being involved in that end of it, as well as the organized aspects of sports. So all of this culminated in leading me and helping me to achieve my goal of becoming a Medford Mustang. Back in 1978, when the football team won the Super Bowl, everybody wanted to be a Mustang then. It was great. So I was very fortunate to be, at this time, introduced and influenced by Mustang Hall of Fame coaches Dave Kokari and Paul Manitow, who honestly helped build me up, give me confidence, to become the best player I could be. And I owe a lot to them for that. So, for having both of you as my coaches, I'm truly grateful and want to personally thank you for what you did for me and many of my teammates. Thanks, you guys. I should also mention my other coaches, Angel Torres, Jack O'Brien. They coached me in basketball and also guided me in a very similar fashion. It was also a very exciting time to be a Mustang. In the early 80s, Medford teams were extremely competitive, and particularly in baseball, we were, as Dave mentioned, a powerhouse. I had the great fortune of being on the 83 team that went undefeated with an almost obnoxious batting statistic behind that team. It may very well be one of the best lineups that a baseball team has ever had in Medford Mustang history. I'll be happy to debate that after. I often sometimes run into former teammates and reminisce about those great days and how much fun it was and how dominant we were. It was just truly a blast. We had fun too. So Hank Morris was a member of the 83 and 84 teams. I think he had a yellow Volkswagen bus with curtains in the windows. And our friend Steve McCormick used to yell things out the window through West Memphis Square and then hide behind the curtains. And then there was the time that we had to Steve McCormick grew up in the projects, and his mother wouldn't let him out with just anyone. So he used to put on his uniform because his mom thought he had a baseball game, and Hank and I would go pick him up. And then he'd change out of his uniform, and then we'd go out. So we had a lot of good times then. But for most of all, I would be remiss if I did not provide thanks to my family. My mom, Peggy, a.k.a. Ma Peg, is here, right over there. You can barely see her around my gigantic brothers. She, along with my dad, were a great influence in my success. Thank you, Mom. Also, my brothers Ed, Jeff, and Tim were here, who
kept my head in check when it got a little too big, and were also at the same time my biggest fans. My brother Scott, who unfortunately passed away, he was the oldest. He was the only kid I ever knew who could hit bongos like a man, and I used to make my father make him take me down to the field and hit me 5 balls until he cried or I was tired. And I didn't really tire too quickly. So God bless you, Scott. We're thinking about you today. Also, my best friend's Hank Morse, who's also a member of the 83 team, as I mentioned, and also my good friend Joe Callahan's here today, who is a true friend and an influence in my life to this very day. I want to thank my wife Susan for still letting me play baseball and other sports today. She calls me her third child. I want to also thank her for not leading me in high school and becoming a distraction from my sports. And I want to thank my kids, Katie and Sean, for becoming wonderful young adults and truly great human beings, which is what I'm most proud of. So, in closing, I'm thrilled to be part of, well, I forgot one thing. Tia, you mentioned your mom and her ankle. Now that we're part of the same community, I have to introduce your mom to my wife because she rolls her ankle when she sneezes. So in closing, I'd like to say it's truly an honor to be part of the Medford High School Hall of Fame. I've always felt very strongly about my past history of being involved in Medford sports. I'm a Medford resident to this day, and I want to thank you all very much.
Next introduction will be from Charlie Peggeroo.
Stephen was right about the 70s and 80s, but Stephen, I have more gray hair than you do. Don't forget that. Ladies and gentlemen, first of all, I want to thank the committee for their due diligence, an incredible group of people. I don't know if I can be in that committee. You really are. You deserve a lot of credit, and a lot of times people don't know what you do behind the scenes. Hey, thanks for your help, by the way. I understand completely. Now to get to the man of the hour here. Typical of Jack Dempsey. He came in late today. It was an induction. Why? Because he was in Westfield, Massachusetts at the state championship cross country for his men's school, Arlington Catholic. And he called me up Wednesday and he said, "Charlie, you're not going to believe this. They changed the date." Okay. Well, we got through it, and here he came in at about 2:30. Probably, nobody can stand him. But he get in here nonetheless, so I'm thankful that he's here. Coach Mattertall, who was a great coach in his own right, and mine as well, along with Polcari, Mr. Valletta, where are you? Here you go. Great coaches. He once said to me, and by the way, I took it to heart, if you want to be rich, don't be a coach. Well, you know what? There's rich and poor, but that's a state of mind. Coach Dempsey is the richest person I know. He truly is. I know this because I'm with him, by his side, every day, even in the off season. Even in the off season. I can't even go by script here because it's just too much to talk about a relative that you love dearly. but I'll continue here if I will. I need my glasses. Stephen, I need my glasses too. Okay? This is how old I'm getting. So 10 years ago, Uncle Jack calls me up, and this is the one and only time he said the word I in a sentence. And he says, "Hey, Rod, I just got the job, and you're coaching with me." What? Really? I am. Anybody who knows my background, I had nothing to do with girls' sports ever. I never even saw an event. What a lesson I got. And thank you, young Jackie, by the way, who's in the audience today. Huge role. Huge role. So he would use the word we, they, and us. Typically, we have to help these kids. They need us. We need them. We'll stay. They want to have BP. They need a water gun fight at Columbus Park. And they're going to fight us. And by the way, if you notice in the program, ladies and gentlemen, you'll see, dear Coach Dempsey, that is not made up. Girls, where are you? Can you please stand up? Right there at that table, our seniors right now. Please stand up and be acknowledged. Stay there for 1 second. Alumni, and Katie, I saw you in the audience today. Cal, alumni, let's go. Stand up. That, by the way, what you see right in front of you, okay? It's like this. Jack has had the responsibility all these years to put these young ladies, and I'll take that quote from Nate, in a position to succeed. And I don't mean shortstop, I don't mean center field. I mean to succeed in life. I think he's done a great job. That's his responsibility. And by the way, today, ladies, all of you, you are now responsible. And please take that to heart. Putting him in his place. And that's right here in the Mustang Hall of Fame. Thank you very much, because that's what you do. Let's see. Jack's famous lines. He's got too many of them, but I'll keep it short and sweet. We could be anywhere at any time. We could be on the field at 9 in the morning getting ready for a game at 1 in the afternoon. It could be all done and we're in the dugout and it's getting dark. It's not even on the field. You can be in my backyard. A little bit of wine, just talking. Every single day, this man and I talk about those young ladies. In passing, it doesn't matter. We can talk about the team, we can talk about the game, we can talk about the player, we can talk about a situation. It's constant, ladies and gentlemen, and I look forward to it every day, and it's the funnest day of my life. That word fun in that program is the heart of what this man is all about. Keep that in mind. Please keep that in mind. Quickly, this is what my observations have been in 10 years. Pied Piper gathers the masses. A master motivator. He never has a bad day. He has a positive approach. And he has this can-do attitude that is matched by nobody. Incredible human being, and by the way, he does not know how to swear. Just to let you know that, it's perfect. Nonetheless, I'll just be quick on this story. His influence on me. Chuck and Andre said, "Charlie, come on, we got to go coach the Chiefs this year. I got your uniform." Right? You remember that conversation. I said, "Chuck, coaching girls softball. I'm not going." He couldn't believe it, shaking his head to this day. Bill Honeycutt, he could not be here. I spoke with him yesterday. He sends his congratulations, Uncle. We brought up the subject. He says, by the way, Bill, he is our number one, by the way, because without him, we don't have a program. He's our contributor. He's our sponsor. He's the guy who will do anything for you. We love him. He calls me up one day. It was the 3rd of July in the summertime. You know how the weeks go in July, and it's a beautiful week ahead. He calls me up on the 3rd of July. Charlie, come on down. He's got this place in the vineyard. He goes, come on, I got the barbecue ready. We gotta go golfing. We're gonna go to the beach. We got everything lined up. We got everything. We got the food, the wine, everything. We're ready to go. Let's go. I said, Bill, I can't make it. I said, why not? Well, I'm in a car. I'm driving. What? He goes, oh, come back when you're all done. He goes, no. I said, Bill, I'm in Pennsylvania on a highway going to Quakertown, and I'm going to coach in a girls' tournament with Jack. Jack can hear the cell phone, and he can hear everything Billy's saying that I can't repeat. But that was my response to him. He said, well, I'll see you later. I haven't been down to the vineyard since. But Jack and I, for the next hour on a highway in Pennsylvania, are just cracking up. And Billy was just in hysterics yesterday. I just wanted to tell that story. Unbelievable. All right, I'm done. So what I'm going to do is this. It is my honor and privilege to introduce to you the newest member of the Mustang Hall of Fame. The teacher, coach, my uncle, my other big brother, and my best friend, Coach Jack Dempsey.
But I first would like to recognize some people here and get my wife's mother's glasses because I forgot mine at home. So George, she's 90 years old. Okay, so first of all, thank you very much, Wood. That was unbelievable. I mean, incredible. I have so much to say. I could probably be here an hour and a half talking about a lot of people in here, believe me. But I'm going to really try to cut it down. But first of all, I'd like to thank the committee, the Hall of Fame committee, and all the people from Mark and Dave and Reggie and Megan, and there's tons of people here, Wendy Z. These guys go way back with me, playing sports, coaching, athletic directing, teaching. They do an unbelievable job. And I'm going to probably bounce around a little bit because when I first came in, I didn't realize certain people were going to be here. But I just can't thank Coach Tags enough. And we have some pretty good stories, but we'll be here till tomorrow if we start talking about them. We would. I'd like to thank our new superintendent, Dr. Maurice Edward Vincent, over here, who's with Mr. Paul DeLeva, the headmaster. She is such a great person and such a tremendous addition to the city of Medford, I can't tell you. This wasn't even planned, so the first week of school, I was following her around in the bus with a videotape from the school, and she was going to the schools, meeting all the kids. I tell you, she is a tremendous influence on the kids in our city. Dr. Maurice I'd next like to recognize my family and friends. And always behind a good man is an unbelievable woman. And then just looking at the tables, these are all my relatives, and my daughter and son, Jackie and Tim, and fiance Brent, and wife Megan and Carol and Mr. Green. I think a lot of you people know Mr. Green. I know a lot of the Hall of Fame committee know Mr. Green. Long-time friend. I get stories there to tell about, but we won't talk about that at the moment. Mr. Nick Tucci, who went to college with my son Tim. They were roommates. They played baseball together. Nick now, as you know, is the headmaster at the McGlynn School in Medford, and also a Hall of Fame baseball player. Speaking of that, I just want to read off a few quick names. If you guys could stand up, all right? And I'll just tell you what I'm getting at. Vic Garrow, Dave Polcari, Charlie Pags Jr., Chuck Andre, Mike Andre, Steve Napier. No one's standing up. You guys stand up. Pat McCarthy, Nick Tucci, Ben Walden, John Canava, Dave Crowley, Paul Natatol. Am I missing anyone? Any other Medford baseball players here that were Hall of Fame caliber players? Okay, you have a Hall of Fame baseball team right here. And the catcher is Dave Crowley. The coach, even though Dave Polcari and Nick Tucci did a tremendous job, Paul Natatol is my coach. These guys contributed so much to the program. And then probably the best basketball player ever to come out of the city, Richie Graham. Few people know that, let me see, where's Lindy? Oh yeah, the greatest woman athlete in the school's history, Lindy Zaragoza. Charlie Pags, elementary gym teacher. What a school. Yeah, so we'll throw that out. Probably leaving out a lot of people here, but just seeing these guys and girls here, you have to recognize them. Like I said, we'll jump around. I'm going to move it along. I don't want to be here too long.
Give us 20 minutes, huh?
I know. Okay. Okay, just a few quick stories. And the good thing about being up here as a coach, I can talk about you guys. I love it. And all you have to do is look at the inductees today, the Hall of Fame inductees. Can you find it?
Sure. No problem. First page. You folded the thing. I don't know where the first page is.
Okay. So, like I said, I've been here a long time, coaching and teaching Medford, and I look at the Hall of Fame inductees today, and it feels like my family's here. Just going to go over quickly who they are. I either coached them, might have been a former teacher, in some way they were involved with me. Nate Clement, Nicole and Sam Lovato, and incidentally, what Sarah said about Nicole, her intensity and stuff, Nicole, over here. Okay, we had an alumni softball game this June, 30 women playing. Nicole comes up to me, Coach, we have to win. We have to play hard. I said, Nicole, that lady's 75 years old now. It's all right. Ben Waldman, Tyler Andre, one thing was left out about Tyler Andre. 3 ACL tears, right? She ran the Boston Marathon this year in 38-degree weather, the rain coming right in her face, and completed the Boston Marathon. Very few people can understand what that means. Tyler did that. A few years ago, about 10 years ago, at a baseball game, Chuck Andre's team's playing Steve Napier's team. I'm with Coach Pags. And I said, who's that old guy in right field? He goes, that's Steve Napier. I go, oh, he's still playing baseball. He's playing Steve, where are you? Semi-pro, yeah.
I think there was a compliment in there somewhere.
It's 20 years later and you're still playing baseball. So this is like what I mean by Hall of Fame type people. Here's another good one. Pat McCarthy over here. He was one of my video students in 1998, 97. He's a movie star. He was the Pan Man Hunter in a movie that the kids made that actually made it to Hollywood. But he wasn't in that movie, but he was part of the initial movie that we made. Great baseball player. Then you got Sam Lovato. Probably the greatest third baseman we ever had. Someone, I guess Sarah mentioned Nicole, but she probably didn't get to see Sam as much. Sam was unbelievable. Great dancer too. Okay, move on there. Just a couple of quick stories, I guess. Okay, just some memorable moments. Coaching. I started in 1982 in track in Medford, and I just remember this is what really kind of motivated me to coach. There was a girl named, a woman I guess now, Lynn Sartina was running the 1,000-meter run. She dove at the finish line. This is my first year coaching, and she won the race, and I just looked and said, she's in a regular dual meet with one other team, and she's diving to win the race. And that showed me so much that I said, hey, I gotta keep doing this stuff. Norman Walsh, I got a quick, the kids know Norman Walsh, she graduated a few years back. She just sent me a quick text and congratulating me. She was a very good distance runner on the track team and a real good softball player. But she was doing the high jump in the Greater Boston League Championships, and she was tied for first place. The 1,000-meter dash came up, and they had the option to run that. She has to go back to the high jump. So not only did she win the 1,000, she comes back in the high jump and says, Coach, my legs are killing me, I'm tired, I can't go back and jump right away. And that's true too, you run a race like that, especially a 1,000-meter. And we called her running girl, because all she did was run. I'd say, Mom, go turn the lights on at the end of the day. She'd run over the field house and turn the lights on. Make a long story short, she won the 1,000, which was, won the high jump, came back and won it, and I just, right there I'm saying, these kids are tremendous. A couple of quick funny stories. I broke my ribs back a while ago, and I go into the hospital to have x-rays. This is like 2004 or something, and sure enough, the x-ray technician, hey, Coach Dempsey, what are you doing here? So she kind of takes care of me. The year 2000, I'm at Logan Airport going to Florida in security. So the TSA comes up and says, we have to check you. They open the curtain, and the kid that's checking me out was one of my former track kids. He goes, hey, Coach Dempsey, remember when we ran? He's doing the thing on me. 2 years later, Logan Airport, they want to check me out again. Another student, athlete, track athlete of mine, same exact thing. Just shows what a small world it is. Another quick story here. I don't know if Nicole, I know a few of you girls probably live in Cambridge maybe. We're playing Cambridge, driving rainstorm in Cambridge, and I know the game's gonna be called. So one of the girls, Casey Maria, says, Coach, should we go, like play in the rain? And we're standing in the dugout. And let them go out. The girls are doing dancing in the rain, sliding in the grass.
The Rick Dempsey home run trot in the rain.
So they go over to the Cambridge girls, bring them over, and Pags and I were just kind of watching what's going on. But my philosophy is work hard, play hard, and have fun. That's probably what I forgot to say, and that works. Believe me, it works. Whether it's with older people, younger people, and I've coached a lot of different age kids and grown-ups. Another quick story was with this is like probably the last thing I'm going to talk about. In 2017, there was a school committee meeting. We had a little bit of a problem with some fundraising issues, a bunch of the sports teams. So they selected me to go up and represent, the softball team and actually all the athletic teams. And we were in the Medford Library, and the city school committee people were all lined up in a U-shaped thing, all looking at me. Not looking at me yet. But so I'm sitting down, and then they call, okay, Coach Dempsey. As I'm walking up to sit in the chair to face them, I hear behind me, hey, Coach, we get your back. It's 30 girls in the softball program and all their parents. And when they said that, everyone in the school committee started looking and smiling and laughing, and the mayor and everyone that was there. And you could tell right there that we were going to win that decision. But just showing what this program means and how the kids and the parents really believe in you. Okay, last but not least, greatest game, maybe the greatest sporting event ever in the history of Medford. In my eyes, it was. You guys probably have something to say about that. 2 years ago, we're playing in the state tournament, softball state tournament, in the quarterfinals against Chelmsford. Drizzle, rain, kind of a tough day. We're losing by 7 runs in the last of the 7th inning. And no way, and we're facing a very good pitcher. This team just knocked off the top seed in the tournament. Facing a very good pitcher, but our kids never quit. That table over there with the 7 girls in it, they're all softball players. Most of them are back, 5 of them are captains coming up this year. They played in that game. And if you saw the Red Sox this year running out hugging each other, like in the World Series, that's what happened that day. And to me, this was much better than the Red Sox game. But it was the Medford athletes that did it. And just going back a bunch of years, they didn't even allow girls to play sports. And they didn't have the opportunity to experience this. And watching that, and to me, I was just flabbergasted. It was one of the great thrills of my life. And with that, I'm just going to end saying, that's why I keep coaching.
Great athletes, and good stock started with John and his brother Al, who's also a Hall of Fame as well. So on John's behalf, and unfortunately John passed away this past February, so it would have been nice if we could have handed this to him in person, maybe an induction or two ago. But on his behalf and on his family's behalf, I'm happy to present and accept Hall of Fame induction plaque for John Knopf, class of 1940.
We can send this to the family. Great.
Okay, what page is if you look in your program books, there's one page. I think it's titled In Memoriam. We have our induction ceremonies now once every 2 years, and over the course of that 2-year period, we make note of and often visit wakes and funerals and send flowers from the Hall of Fame to Hall of Famers who have passed away since the last induction ceremony. You'll see the names listed there, and if we could now just take a moment of silence to reflect and on their behalf. Okay, thank you. The next introduction will be made by Nicole Fagiano.
Let me take you back to 1993 when a little boy put on his first pair of skates and begged his dad to let him get a slush in the hockey rink instead of going on the ice during winter skate program. 2 years and a lot of slush later, the game all changed. Now Rob was on a team and loved every minute of being on the ice. Even though I'm older than Rob, we got to play on the same hockey team. He played defense and I played right wing. During one of the games, Rob passed me the puck and I scored my very first goal. As the years went by, Rob excelled in both sports and academics. My dad always told us we could play any sport we wanted as long as we got all of our homework done. So that's exactly what my brother did. He took honors classes in high school, helped tutor students, and played both hockey and golf. His sophomore year, he got to experience being part of the team that made it to the Super 8, and even got to play on the ice at the TV club. I was so proud to watch him and his teammates represent Medford just with such class and determination. Although they did not make it to the finals, it was an experience we will never forget. His senior year, he earned a few awards, including the Phelan Award, which is given out at the end of Banquet to someone who does well in both academics and athletics. Through sports, Rob has made many friends that have become like family. He was the best man in his friend Mike's wedding, who he met when he was 7, and played hockey with all the way up through the high school level. After high school, Rob attended college at Suffolk University. He graduated with a bachelor's degree in accounting and a master's degree in taxation. I watched him study every day for hours as he prepared for his CPA exams, and he passed the very first time. I was once again a very proud sister. Rob is now a CPA and works as a manager for a company called Ernst & Young. He oversees a team in both the United States and in India. While in India this past year, he even got to play on one of the golf courses there. It is an honor to be a Mustang, to bleed blue and white, and to know what dedication, determination, sacrifice, joy, victory, and friendship means. Congratulations to my brother and to all the new members of the Mustang Hall of Fame. You are all amazing.
Thank you. I didn't write a speech, but I'm just not going to use it after all these wonderful speeches that everyone made today. You know, as my sister mentioned, at my job, now I travel to India, I travel to Florida, and all different places across the world, teaching taxes and uninteresting stuff, so I promise I won't talk about any of that. You know, as my sister mentioned, 10 years ago, I was here for the M Club Award ceremony, and I'm especially proud that of the class of 2008 with Ben and John Costello and Kayla Sherry that are here as well, that are all Hall of Fame members. So that's something I'm very proud of. You know, the big joke at my work is that I'm never going to leave Medford. You know, I just bought a house in Medford. Probably my favorite place, you know, to live. You know, I recently joined as a board member, you know, to help oversee Hall of Fame inductees. And a personal goal of mine is to help keep, you know, 7th and 8th graders from going to other high schools so they can succeed as student athletes and at Medford High School. What I'm especially proud of is to see Mr. DeLeva here, Mr. Green, some of the teachers I had in high school, and Mr. Scarpelli, some folks that aren't here that I really enjoyed my time with, Mr. Coughlin, the gym teacher, and Mr. Jewett, who, I never played golf in my life, and he told me to sign up for the golf team, and now it's my favorite hobby, that I play. I'd like to thank the Hall of Fame board for this wonderful ceremony, and congratulate all the wonderful athletes that are here. And as my sister said, some of my closest friends are from playing sports, and we often reminisce, playing in the Super 8 or playing a golf course that we'll never get to play again. So I'd like to just wrap up and thank someone in particular, my dad, who always drove me to hockey. He used to take me down to Tony Lucci's to buy new skates and sticks, and I'm forever grateful. At my job, we have to work tremendous hours, doing tax deadline seasons, and what keeps me going is that I grew up in Medford, and our tradition and pride is to win, no matter what the scenario is. And as we played hockey over the years, we won 3 state championships growing up, and then we made a run in the high school Super 8. So something I'm very proud of, and the determination and discipline is something that Medford sports gave me, and I'm forever thankful for that. So thank you, everyone. Have a great night.
Okay, the next introduction will be made by Paul Manful.
Jack Dempsey moment. Jack came to me, 10 years ago, with the boys, Nick, and Kevin were opening, I was opening the season down in Arizona. And I think
Any better? All right, Jack came to me and said, well, the guys are opening up in Arizona, you and I should go. And you're talking to a guy that does not like to fly at all. And we went, and I remember one night we were at a game, and I'm getting in an argument with the guy about the shortstop. Was he that good? He's not that good, he's too small. Because we know who that was. Who was that? Who was the shortstop? Come on, Chuck. Dustin Pedroia. Anyway, you look around this room, this is really interesting. This is the cream of the crop from Medford people. It's unbelievable, the people that are here tonight. It's an honor for me, as it is for any coach, to present to you one of my all-time favorite players in Pat. When discussing Pat with other coaches, I always use the term, he's a throwback player. And what a throwback player is, he's a hard-nosed athlete, an ultimate team player, a quiet leader who does his talking with his glove, his bat, and his shoulder pads. Pat's resume is pretty impressive when you look at it. Football, 3 letters, captain, GBL All-Star, 2-way starter, leading rusher, leading receiver, leading scorer. There's not too many things left after that. In baseball, he had 4 letters. He was the captain, he played shortstop, he was a 4-year starter, 2-time GBL All-Star, and he led the team in average again. He also won the Cooper Scholarship and the most prestigious award, that a male athlete can receive the Family Award. I told Pat earlier we got
An email from his other coach, Coach Baldini.
Coach Baldini is coaching down in Florida. He told me yesterday it was 80 degrees down there, and I hung up on him. So this is from Coach Baldini to Pat. I had the pleasure of being your football coach in Midland High School in the 90s. You were a defensive back and running back, a fierce competitor, man of very few words. Pat motivated those around him by his work ethic and smile. Though he did not possess quite the size or speed of a Division I athlete, he had a lion in his chest. One Pat story here, if you won't mind. We were getting ready to play Peabody, and we were actually tied for first place with Peabody. The next day, we had to go up to Peabody and try to win in a place that was very hostile to us. So we were practicing, and I used a lot of milk crates and move balls around for practice. And Pat was running out to his position with his milk crate, and one of his friends, which will remain nameless, decided to be fun to tackle the football player. So he runs up behind him, tackles him, down he goes. Unfortunately, he landed on the crate. The crate went through his cheek and out to the other side. It's a pretty gruesome injury, and at least the guy's almost fainted just looking at it. I can see from one side to the other. So we flash forward a little bit now. The team is ready to kill this guy, and they say, "How the heck can we beat Peabody with our best player not playing?" So we go up to the hospital. His dad is up there, and he comes out. He's all swollen. Looks like the Frankenstein monster. He's got stitches on the outside, stitches on the inside. Everywhere you can possibly put a stitch, he had. All swollen up. And he said, "Coach, I can play tomorrow." Yeah, it's okay, Pat. That was a man of a few words. When he said something, he meant it. And I said, "Yeah, well, we'll see." "Oh, Coach, I'm telling you, I can play tomorrow." I said, "Well, let's see what happens tomorrow, because I know what he's going to do tomorrow." So the next day, I come in to school, I walk down to my room, and there he is, sitting on the floor, and he gets up. Now it looks even worse. It looks like a raccoon's got black eyes, he's got more swelling, and he says, "Coach, my shoulders are getting play." So I went to the trainer just to appease him, and the trainer said, "Well, look, I've been thinking about this all night, and if you don't slide head first, you should be okay. You might have to replace some stitches, but you can play." I said, "You sure?" He said, "Yeah, I checked with the parents, they were okay with it." Bottom line, he plays, gets 3 hits, wins the game, we tie for first place, and now, ladies and gentlemen, is Pat McCarthy.
Thank you everyone for being here today. Also the board for putting this event on. I know it's a ton of work. And all of you for being here on Sunday, taking this time to support all the inductees. It really means a lot to us. I've heard a lot of people talk about the blue and white in their veins or their blood. I just want to share my personal story. It was right before the pep rally for Thanksgiving. Me and the other captains were walking down the hall, and Bud Kelly, he was the athletic director, he calls me, "Scott, get in here." What do we do now? And roll up your sleeves. So we all just kind of look at each other, what's he doing? So we roll up our sleeves, he pulls out a blue Sharpie, just starts drawing all over our arms, and then gets some white out of it, puts it all over them. And then once we get into the pep rally, he calls us up. He's like, "These boys really have blue and white in their veins." And we're sitting there. We thought it was silly at the time, but we understand now. And so my dad, he talks about that all the time, probably at least once a year, he brings it up. And once you're a Mustang, you really do have that feeling. So, a couple people I want to thank. There's 3 big things. I know all the other inductees have been doing basically the same thing today, but first group of people is just my friends and all the kids around the neighborhood that I grew up with. I can't tell you how many thousands of games of stickball we played, just the Wesley schoolyard, Dave schoolyard, how many games of tag football or tackle football we played down at Spicy Park, basketball, Barry Park. That's all we did. And there wasn't a grown-up around, like Steve said. We did it ourselves, and those guys kind of shaped me. A lot of those guys I got to play with at high school, and it was really cool to take what we practiced kind of on our own and eventually make it up to play for the Mustangs. Second group is all the coaches. Coach Manatell, thank you for the war stories. It really wasn't a war. It was a little injury, but like the Veterans Day just happened. Those are the real kind of war stories you hear about. Thank you to all the veterans, especially my dad. He even let me as a coach today. All my other coaches growing up, West Memphis Little League, through Pop Warner football, I always had good, positive coaches that made me want to play. We had a lot of fun. You hear crazy stories about some of the coaches out there and how intense they are, and they take all the fun out of it for the kids. I never had that, and hopefully I've been helping out coaching my own boys, baseball, basketball teams and stuff. I just want to give them some of that same experience that I got from my coaches at the younger grades, and then at the high school, Coach Manatell, the freshman coaches, Coach Dyer, Coach Muscarella, countless other, Coach Smith, who was a big influential person in my life, just kind of teaching that self-discipline and always being there on time, always doing your job. Coach Bellini, definitely as well. Thank you for getting the words from him. One story, one day in practice, I was on the, as a sophomore on the scout team, I was running the ball and the starting defense wasn't able to stop the play. So Coach Bellini decided, you know what, I'm going to show him what's up. He got in position at linebacker. I hit the hole and he came at me and he took me out. It was crazy, but it's still a memory that me and my friends, that's what we have. He was in it. Hopefully he's not working there anymore. It's not going to get. I know this team is probably I know that. Last group is my family. I have two tables of people that came here today on Sunday. It means so much to me that you guys are here. My grandfather, he's not with us. He probably didn't miss a game when I played, whether it was home or away. He would have been here at 11:30 for this, and he would have stayed after. This would have been his thing. So definitely he's hopefully watching us today. Parents, Tim, Marty, you could have waited here. Could have been blessed with more supportive parents. I mean, I used to get rides from him. My dad had a big brown van, and he would pick up 5 or 6 kids and drive them from car park in North Medford down to South Medford to West Medford and then back home, drop everyone off. Never complained about it. Take myself, I go to the cell phone, the pay phone at the gym, and I'd make a collect call, and I'd say, "Practice over, come pick me up." And they wouldn't have to collect the call because we didn't. 10 minutes later, they'd be there, always give a ride. But yeah, truly, thank you guys so much for all you did for me. Thank all of you for being here today. Appreciate it. Go Mustangs.
The next introduction will be made by Megan Richard.
Okay, I had the privilege of inducting Sam Pilato into the Mustang Hall of Fame. I first met Sam during her sophomore year, which was my first year as the JV coach at Medford High School for soccer. It was like deja vu because Sam was more a midfielder or forward and was being trained to play in the goalie position, which is exactly what happened to me back in high school. Did she want to play goalie? Absolutely not. Did I still make her play goalie? Absolutely. She frequently made me aware that this is not something she wanted to do. But Sam and I really quickly formed a great relationship, and she put work in at each and every practice. She realized that we needed a goalie, and as a softball term, she stepped up to the plate. We went undefeated that year, and a lot of that credit goes to Sam and the heart she brought to that team. One fond memory from soccer, any coach who has coached Nicole or Sam will definitely know what I'm talking about. I can still feel and see the look on her dad's face, that Tony look, even if I took Sam out of the game for a quick water break, just to kind of let me know why is my daughter not on the field. You're agreeing, right? But before being Sam's coach, I was fortunate to watch many of her varsity ice hockey games at LaFontaine because I knew many of the other girls on the team. Girls ice hockey was unique because middle school players could get a waiver to play, so they had enough players on the team. So Sam was a member of the varsity team starting in 8th grade. Many of us in this room know the dedication, commitment, and hard work it takes to be a part of a varsity team. And to do that even before starting high school is very impressive. She was a powerhouse on the ice, becoming one of the first 3 players with 100 points. It was a true joy to watch her skate. Although I was her soccer coach, it was clear to everyone that her passion was softball. During her freshman year, she was able to play alongside her sister Nicole, who shifted over to shortstop, while Sam played the hot corner at third base. Out on the softball field is where Sam was meant to be. She had laser focus from the first pitch of every game to the last at bat. She was a smart player, a great hitter, and an even better fielder, but it was her pumping up her teammates that meant the most to all of them. As a senior and as a captain, Sam's team went on to win the GBL championship for the first time in many years. Sam continues to make me proud in everything that she does. She went on to play softball at Bridgewater State and had a very successful career with that team. After graduating with a bachelor's in elementary education, she went on to get her master's in elementary education from UMass Boston and is now a third grade teacher in a Boston school. Dempsey mentioned that Sam was a great dancer. I will add that she is also a great singer. Give her a Whitney Houston song, she'll kill it. It is my absolute honor to induct Samantha Lopalato into the Mustang Hall of Fame.
Hi. I would first like to thank Meg for that awesome speech, and for everyone at the Mustang Hall of Fame organization for creating this event. I am with Tia and not a public speaker, so when I think of being a Mustang, I think of some of the happiest days. I think of going into the summer of sophomore year, dragging my bag from store to store to find volleyball shoes because I was going to play volleyball. The night before, I decided to head to the soccer field where I met Meg, and I am so grateful for that. Then I head into year 2 of hockey. Like Meg said, I played in 8th grade, so I went into year 2 with Coach McCarthy and Coach Forbes, who really shaped a lot of that team and really helped us go on to become great. Then landing a spot on the varsity softball team where I got to play alongside Nicole, which was a great honor. She shifted to shortstop, like was mentioned, and I got to play third base. So playing on the same side as your sister was really cool. Following in the footsteps of Nicole was definitely not an easy task. She was a powerhouse academically as well as athletically, well known by admin, teachers, coaches. I didn't really walk into a room at Banquet that my name wasn't already known. Probably not my first name, but definitely my last name. I will never forget winning the GBL in softball for the first time since 1998. or having an undefeated GBL season in hockey and earning a bye to go to the next round of the state tournament. I will definitely not forget pretending we were ninjas and putting flamingos on people's yards across Medford to
Rock and roll.
in hopes that they would support our upcoming season. Everything I do, I feel like there's just so many qualities that I've learned from Medford that I carry on into being a teacher today and everything I do in everyday life. I want to say thank you to my parents and my family. We've always had a great support system. We've had probably one of the biggest crowds at almost every sporting event. When I earned my 100th point in hockey, I had family members there with a sign that was somehow lit up. I'm not sure how that worked. So a great combination of my parents and sports really taught me how to make a commitment and stick with it, how to be dedicated, motivated, and grounded in everything I do, and that I could succeed at Medford, at Bridgewater, and now as a teacher. I love being a Mustang, and I hope to one day be a Mustang here and also be a coach for an upcoming Hall of Fame athlete. Again, I would like to say thank you to everyone here, to my family and parents, for driving me to all my games and being there at every game, supporting me, whether it wasn't a great game or it was a great game. They were always there, day in and day out. So, thank you.
To the Medford Mustang Hall of Fame for the category of community service. My wife and I first met the Costello family in 2009 when we served together as board members on the Mustang Football Booster Club. As a student athlete, John witnessed firsthand what the volunteer members of the Booster Club did to support the football program and how much they did for the kids. It was always for the kids. When I first met John, he was a young college student who was not far removed from high school himself. It was a pleasure to work with him and witness him taking on more responsibility as a member of the Booster Club. John eventually became president of the Senior Football Associates and worked very hard to ensure the same experiences he and his teammates had as Medford football players were available to the student athletes who followed him. It was genuinely enjoyable to see such dedication to service from a younger one. John worked many years committed to serving the team that meant so much to him in high school. Whether it was managing the pregame meals, coordinating fundraisers, working the concession on a sometimes cold and rainy Friday night, or planning the Thanksgiving Eve dinner or the year-end banquet, John was there to make sure everything ran smoothly behind the scenes. He served as the main point of contact between the coaching staff and the board to make sure we did everything to get the team whatever they needed. Throughout his 7 years of service, John never sought praise or thanks for what he did. He has remained humble and simply wanted to give back to the Mustangs. It is with much respect that I introduce the 2018 Community Service Inductee to the Medford Mustang Hall of Fame, John Costello.
Thank you, Mike. First, I want to begin by saying thank you to the Mustang Hall of Fame for recognizing me for my community service today, and also holding this in the Patriots Bible. Congratulations to all the inductees here today as well. Thank you to my parents for raising me to learn the importance of taking the time to give back to your community. Thank you to Ed Finn for taking a shot and nominating me as president of the Booster Club. A special thank you to all of the board members of the Medford Football Booster Club over the years, including Ed and Sandra Finn, who are like the Bob and I craft of Medford football, Mike and Elaine Borringer, John and Daria Petrella, Erica Marsh, even Chris Murphy, and so many others. Without all of you, the football team wouldn't have new equipment, team meals before each and every game, an end of the year banquet, and so much more. Each of you should be standing at the podium today as well. And last but not least, thank you to everybody here today for actually staying to hear the Community Service Award. Drive home safe. Go Mustangs.
Okay. Don't worry, there's no Patriots game. There's nothing to worry about. We don't have to rush from this game, all right? We do have to rush from. All right, we have one more 30-minute speech. Where's Jack? Yeah, part two. First of all, I would like everyone to stand and give a round of applause to Megan. Thanks to all of you who came today to, obviously, for personal reasons, if you have someone that you know that went into the Hall of Fame, but especially the rest of the folks here who stayed to honor all the athletes and community service folks. So thank you very much. And almost finally, with the new members of the Hall of Fame, the Mustang Hall of Fame class of 2018, please stand so we can give them one more round of applause.